Every relationship that I was in, I was a fixer. I thought this is what love was. Loving someone else was the way I was meant to be. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why I kept choosing men that needed me instead of truly loved me. It was really interesting from the first time I had a boyfriend, way too young, but at 14, I seemed to attract two different types of men. I had the one that needed a lot of support, had a lot of emotional baggage. And then I had the other that seemed pretty level-headed, but was, how do I put it, a little bit boring. So I found myself, for some reason, just being so attracted to the ones that needed so much. Now, obviously, I didn't realize any of this until many, many years later. But the point is that I had good men that were interested in me, and I had the bad boys. I had the ones that needed help, the ones, I was attracted to homies and lads and all the sorts of strange things that, as a young teenager, really when I had the opportunity of friendships and nice boys, I chose these men. So I'm going to talk to you more about in this video about my experience and probably what you might be able to relate to, because the thing is that we keep going in this pattern, and the pattern, even you don't realize it until it's 6 months, 12 months, and you're going, why am I doing this again? How did I fall into this pattern again? And it's so crazy because until you actually have awareness and you realize why you keep doing it, it changes your perspective, and then you start to work on yourself and change these habits over time. So the fact is that many, many years later, I realized that the reason I was doing this was because I was a people pleaser. I had a purpose, and as long as I had someone else to look after, as long as I had someone else to fix, I took the focus away from me. Even though I was doing numerous therapy, different things to try and improve myself, I was attracted to the toxic, messy relationships. I was attracted to fixing and improving. And eventually, I got so exhausted by this, especially because I was working on myself and I was realizing how much these sort of relationships were affecting me deeply. So all of this does stem from my childhood and things that have happened through that time, which I unpacked very deeply about 4 to 5 years ago through hypnotherapy. And that is what I am. I am a hypnotherapist for that reason, because the things that I discovered were absolutely phenomenal. And I cannot believe how much I changed since I started that process. So that's why I learned it, and now that's why I do it for you. Because I had this belief of self-worth. I didn't understand that I deserved better. I said it, but truly deep down inside me, I had this purpose of looking after other people, because as long as I was fixing and trying to improve them, that would take the blame off me. So the best way to look at this is how you perceive yourself and how you perceive yourself to others. Because if we can change this, then that response from others, we become attracted by other different people. And yes, like I said, when I was younger, I had men that were interested in me that were more stable, but I found them boring. I didn't understand their needs. Some were emotionally disconnected, or they were super driven, and for some reason, I didn't feel like I was good enough for them. So I stayed focused on dealing and being with the other type of man that needed a lot of support, that made me feel smarter. And as much as that's horrible to say now, it is true, because I realized that it gave me confidence when they were the problem and that I had to help fix them instead of just finding my own confidence and knowing my own self-worth. So that guy gave me a role, it gave me a purpose, and it gave me something to focus on, even if it was completely and utterly debilitating, exhausting, drama all the time. The people, like even my friendships, were exactly the same. relationships where it involved a lot of drinking, it involved a lot of manipulation, abusive words, physical abuse, just so much drama, jealousy, all the crazy things. And sometimes it was just little, but it was enough that it drove me mad. The most thing I then became was resentful. So you turn it into this, oh, but they had so many issues when they grew up. Oh, they have so much going on. Oh, it's okay. To eventually, like after a year or two, you start to feel just so resentful, so frustrated, so confused, and not understanding why they can't be there for you when you need it, when you're a little bit crazy, when you're emotional. They would just get angry or frustrated because they couldn't fix what I needed. So this pattern just kept happening for me, and it's probably happening for you, whether this is in a relationship, a friendship, work, your habits. These things happen because you've created something in your mind that is comfortable, that this scenario, this pattern is actually familiar and strangely safe. And this is something that happens deep inside our subconscious, something that happens in the back of our brain that we build and build over time. Now, for me, this started when I was 7. And yes, I had a few daddy issues, not intensely, but the way that I had a moment when I was 7, which I did not discover until 4 years ago. This scenario is what changed the way I perceived myself and men, and that I had something to prove, that I had to gain, that I had to be what they wanted, not what I wanted. And so I perceived this self of me, this physical self, because I believed my mind wasn't good enough, that my soul wasn't good enough. I used my body to tell the story. So what that changed in me is that I was attracting the wrong type of people. And I kept doing this until, I don't know, in my 30s. So I'm 38 now. And, my last relationship he's an amazing man, but I still was in this loop. And I just couldn't understand why. I already had figured out in the relationship before that I was in something seriously bad, that I kept finding this version of my partner that was not serving me. So with the partner before, with my partner 8-9 years ago, I was in the kitchen. I was training to be a Muay Thai coach. And in the kitchen, he accused me of cheating on him. Now, I'd only been with this man for 4 months, and I was starting to see red flags. And during this time, when he came to me in the kitchen, he then shoved me and pushed me into the sink. Now, it took me that 4 months to realize how bad this man was. And I soon found out that he'd had multiple children with multiple women, that he was extremely manipulative, and that he was a professional at what he was doing. I didn't see it. I didn't see the red flags until the very last moment when this got so bad. Now, I'm going to tell you, that night I left. I called my family. They came and got me, got my cats, and we got out of that apartment, and I never went back. I never even saw him again. But it shouldn't take us that long to see those flags, because he could have seriously hurt me that night. But luckily, because of my experience in Muay Thai, I was able to dodge him and then get out of the way. But I want to remind you that these patterns only happen because the way we want to help people, the way we want to fix people, we focus on that instead of really just focusing on ourselves and what our purpose is and knowing our self-worth. So if you're someone that keeps attracting these type of relationships, and I really mean it, in a partnership, friendship, even work, because honestly, we can be attracted to bosses and colleagues and managers or a type of company that just don't serve us. These things can happen because we feel this intensity. We're attracted to that feeling because there's something to gain, something to build, something to grow and work on and focus on instead of what we want to do for ourselves. So again, if you're more attracted to this type of toxic pattern, this is not love. I can promise you that. It is a habit and a pattern that you have got used to doing. It happens to so many women. I hear about it all the time, and I help many women so far that have had these same issues in different ways, in different stories, but it's always ending up being the same thing. You don't believe that you're enough. Usually it's from a trauma that you've had in your past that you need to heal and remove and then transform. And that can only happen when you do the deep work. You can do it for years and work through your patterns, of course, but doing it quickly and efficiently can really change how you perceived. I have another client who was in a relationship and it wasn't bad. If anything, amazing man, but stuck in his own loops, stuck in his own self-worth issues. And she just was not happy. And what she did was kept finding that she actually would end up in the same pattern. Now, none of her partners were abusive, but they were emotionally unstable. And she would just end up being the bigger person looking after them. As soon as she worked on why that pattern kept happening for her, as my client, we worked out that these patterns were embedded in her from a very young age. That this self-worth, this self-love, that she deserved happiness and true love was not something that she deserved. Once we changed that, once we reframed her mind, she now has the most amazing partner that has the same values as her. This story has happened multiple times, and it is even my story. So now, after 4 years ago, I left my ex, who again was not a bad person, but it was not good. Our relationship was continuously exhausting for both of us. And once I left and I manifested, I imagined the exact type of relationship that I wanted to have. Within 4 months, he came into my life. I am still with him today. You'll see him in videos and reels, and that's Kiro. And honestly, I cannot explain to you, after I did that change, after I manifested the true love that I want, I am so in love now, it's unbelievable. And I'm so lucky, and I'm so grateful for all the work, all the experiences that I've had to get me to this point. So the first thing you can do is take notice of what you truly believe about yourself. Take note about how you act in situations. Are you seeing a continuous looping pattern? Are you feeling a certain way almost every week, on the weekends, every time you have an argument? Are you going into fight and flight, but then you enjoy that connection and love that you have after? So it's like high, low, all the time. Relationships should not be like that. Yes, you will always have arguments, you will always have disagreements, but consistently it should be this. You should not be feeling up and down, up and down, up and down, questioning yourself, questioning them, questioning the relationship. Do I want this? These are the things that should not be happening in a relationship. You should feel truly in love and connected to your partner in the highs and the lows. So if you are someone that is continuously seeing this pattern in your life, this can change for you. So be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have so much more of this for you. Like the channel, subscribe, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next video.